Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. Martin Scorsese has been making movies for over 60 years. It's a testament to his vision as a director and storyteller to continue to make films that resonate, that feel vital, timely. And his latest, Killers of the Flower Moon, is based on a heartbreaking true story. It's in theaters and will be streaming on Apple TV Plus at a later date, and I want to talk about it. This is Paul's trip to the movies. Scorsese not only directed the film, but co-wrote it with Eric Roth, who's written movies like Munich and Dune, and they base it on David Grant's book of the same name. They invite you into the community of the Osage indigenous people in Oklahoma. It's a county that has become one of the wealthiest in America due to the oil springs. Lily Gladstone gives one of the best performances I've seen all year as Molly Burkhart, a fiercely independent woman who is really close to her family. Now, her life changes when Ernest Burkhart, her future husband, who's played by Leonardo DiCaprio, arrives into town looking to literally cash in on the wealth. Now, his uncle, William King Hale, who's played by Robert De Niro, is thought of as kind of this white patriarch and protector of the Indian community in Osage. Now, the love story between Molly and Ernest blossoms at a time when she's seeing every one of her family members murdered under mysterious conditions. The film also stars Jesse Plemons as an FBI agent and Cara Jade Myers as Molly's sister Anna. Killers of the Flower Moon is no easy watch under Martin Scorsese's eye, as he tries to tell this story as honestly and authentically as possible. He opens it with a really poignant scene of a burial ceremony, with its leader lamenting a future when the white people will take over and that the culture of Native people will just eventually die away. He then cuts to a train arriving at the station with all white men arriving ready to take over the jobs and all the positions of power in town. Now, for a movie that's 3.5 hours, Scorsese and longtime editor Thelma Schoonmaker take their time telling this story. There's no rushing through the introduction of this community just to then get to the violence or the carnage. We, the audience, then get to sit in on marriages, funerals, and other ceremonies, really celebrating this unique culture and just way of life for the residents of Osage. We need to stay here and share this story as it's been long forgotten. Now, it's never boring, as cinematographer Rodrigo Prieto's camera really captures the wide open land, the freedom to roam, and then he uses what I really love was some just central framing choices like photographs from the time. It's a big story that still feels quite intimate, actually, focusing really in on Molly's family and the plague of murders happening around her, and then her eventual illness from diabetes. Lily Gladstone is a revelation. People may know her from Certain Women, and she just speaks volumes with just her eyes as Molly navigates all of the horrors around her. Gladstone carries herself with such strength and vulnerability as she goes toe-to-toe with DiCaprio and De Niro every step of the way. Leonardo DiCaprio's Ernest Burkhart feels like your quintessential Scorsese character, and DiCaprio really wisely rides the duality of his character being so morally complicated. I do believe that Ernest truly does love his wife Molly, and yet then gets caught up in his uncle's racism and evil, murderous ways and can't get out from under him. It's a performance of restraint that I feel like we haven't seen from DiCaprio in quite some time. Robert De Niro gives some of the greatest performances of his career under Martin Scorsese, and they've been working together and have had a friendship for over 50 years. And there's no missing a step for De Niro's finally, it's a calibrated performance of William King Hale. There's this stillness and this calculation to the character who's always plotting out his step with every person that he meets. You can just see it in De Niro's eyes. It's quite menacing in a way that's very different than Travis Bickle, Jake LaMotta, any of those kind of classic De Niro characters. Killers of the Flower Moon has all the themes that Scorsese has wrestled with over the years, from culture, identity, religion, and just the evil within us. even the murders that here happen, like the mob hits that we typically associate with Scorsese. Now you can start to feel the film's length, but you can make an argument for so many of Scorsese's choices. You don't really know where he could cut it or trim it. Now this may be set in early 1920s, but the timely nature of powerful white men who invade a community only to just destroy it feels important and timely. There's a blunt realism at hand in the language and the violence that's too jarring to ignore. I'm giving Killers of the Flower Moon 4.5 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I have some of the movie reviews of Martin Scorsese's movies. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment on social media at Paul's Movie Trip, whether it's on social or on YouTube. Do you have a favorite Martin Scorsese movie, and what do you think of Killers of the Flower Moon? I'd love to hear from you. Paul's Trip to the Movies is brought to you by Popcorn. Maybe you want to settle in, have a Scorsese marathon. I know you're going to want to dig into his filmography. Have some popcorn on hand. Whether you want to place an online order or just go stop in the store, try some samples. They have over 70 flavors that you can choose from. Follow them on social media at PopcornMN. They always have something new popping. Paul's Trip to the Movies is also brought to you by Imagine Theaters. Go see Killers of the Flower Moon in the theaters the way that Martin Scorsese would want you to see it. You are going to love it. I guarantee it. Follow them on social media at ImagineMN. Get tickets through their website or through their app. It's really easy and slick. And tickets are on sale for my movie series, Paul McGuire Grimes Presents. I actually showed Taxi Driver a couple months ago, and we had a really great discussion afterwards about Scorsese's career, his themes, how he uses his camera. Get tickets for my movie series. Coming up this Sunday for October, it's David Fincher's Zodiac. Coming up in November, it's The Big Chill. And then in December, we're going to close out the year with the Judy Garland classic, Meet Me in St. Louis. I would love to see you there. Again, we do discussions about these movies after every screening. I love hearing what you think of these movies, seeing them back on the big screen, kind of seeing maybe what resonates with each viewing of these movies. So come, get tickets in advance. And again, follow them on social media at ImagineMN. Thank you so much for watching my review of Killers of the Flower Moon. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.